and they can get approved for $350,000. But if they were doing a house hack, they could get approved for $490,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a huge difference. So obviously through that pre-approval process, we're doing that. Second is we're taking a look at debt to income ratios, so DTI, and weighing that versus what they can actually afford, right? So there's two different things: what I can actually approve them for, and then what they're comfortable paying. The next step is understanding, okay, Justin, taking a look, you've got 3 or 4 houses that they like. What's the average price and how much can they put down? And then what do you think the rental is going to be in that basement apartment or that above the garage rental income? So for example, let's just say it's $1,500 a month. Then in my software, what I'm putting in is $1,500, and then I can take 75% of that. So that's $1,125 that I can actually count as income. So what do they actually have to do to qualify for me to use that income with the lender? So there's a couple of major things. So the first thing is they have to have a 12-month lease agreement with a renter saying that they will rent it out for $1,500 a month for 12 months, okay? Which every time I teach that, people are like, that seems backwards, right? Like I don't even own it yet, but I have to go get a contract. Have either of you had a problem getting renters in beforehand or getting a lease agreement beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, you don't own it, so you can't place tenants. Some house hacks have tenants in place, but not all do.
But they can move in afterwards, right? You just have to have that contract starting within 60 days. And so they can move in soon thereafter. So that's the first piece. So they're going to have those renters. Those renters are going to have to make their first month's payment and their security deposit. And I have to get a bank statement from the borrower stating that, or showing that those 2 deposits have hit their bank account. Okay, so those are the 2 major things. The third thing is a 1007 appraisal. A 1007 appraisal is generally about $150. And what that allows us to do as an appraiser takes a look at a 5-mile radius around that home and sees other basement rental apartments, pulls some comparables, very similar to a normal appraisal. And then what they do is say, yep, I approve of $1,500 a month, or you can get more or less, but here's the official appraisal. Then the lender is going to take that and then allow me to use that 75% of that future rent to offset your debt to income ratios. So I give this example all the time. A person buying a $525,000 home, their payment's about $3,600 a month. Then they've got $7,000 a month of income and a $400 a month car payment. They're at 53% debt to income ratio. If we get $1,500 a month of rental income, and I can use that 75%, they're at 38% debt to income ratios. And if we're doing a conventional loan, I can go up to 45% debt to income, or if we're doing FHA, it's 50%. But I couldn't get option A, meaning no rental income approved, but I can with a house hack. So it just allows people to actually buy a home, get into a home. And I use this phrase throughout my life, but you have to give up to go up. And so maybe you do have some renters in your basement for 3 to 5 years when you first get married or you buy your first home. And then you can have that big, giant home you've always wanted later in life. But this allows you to start getting into homes, building up some real estate. And I saw a statistic the other day that said that 90% of people's wealth is actually in their home. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So for them to start getting into that race now, it's like starting your 401k, but with your house.
100%. 100% agree.
It's like you said, it's a stepping stone. It's not your final destination per se. I want to ask a question about how, from the loan side, you assess risk. So you do the 1007 appraisal, you run market comparables, and you only count 75%. Can you elaborate as to why it's 75% instead of 100%?
Yeah. So the lender is still taking on some risk, right? In the average case, you're either putting 3 to 5% down on average. So there's still some risk associated with buying this house, them lending you $500,000 on this house.